All right, this video is going to be the beginning of the framing process of the upstairs. This is all going to start with a trailer full of wood. I think the next step here is going to be starting to frame some walls. So in this area over here, where the old bedroom wall used to be, I'm gonna put a header up here, across the top, and then put in new studs going from the floor to the ceiling. Once I get this section done, then I'll feel safer knocking this out. And then basically that wall is just going to continue all the way down there. And then there'll be a solid wall about 4 feet tall going all the way down the side of this room. I love using this thing. It's one of my favorite tools. It's a little bright in here, so you might not be able to see it too well, but this is how you get a nice straight wall, at least as straight as possible. But you can see my laser is lined up exactly with the edge of these studs. It's lined up straight down this bottom plate here. And then all my little marks that I just made are now verified as correct because it's also marked along all of these. See my mark there, my mark there, and this lines up absolutely perfectly with the edge of this 4x4 that's in the wall. So I'm gonna do this. There's my laser there. I'm gonna make a mark on the laser, kind of like that. So now I know exactly where this position is on each stud. So the next fun little part of this to figure out is going to be the actual angle of these rafters here. And the reason that is important is because when I go to put a top plate on here, like that, you can see from the side here at least, that this face here is not level. It's not going straight up and down, it's cutting out this way. So just to kind of demonstrate this, if I put the top plate on like this, and then I bring in a piece of drywall and I put drywall on here, now you can really see the issue. The drywall sits on a corner instead of an actual flat face like that. So what I've got to do here is figure out what the angle of the rafter is and then cut that angle into the side of this piece of wood like this so that there's a flat surface for drywall to butt up against. So this may be difficult to actually see, but good old speed square here, if I put this up with the pivot point on the bottom of the rafter like that, you can see that I've got my laser level is still right here on the rafter. So I'm gonna put the pivot point of my level right on that laser. You can see the laser go right down the edge of my speed square. So I know the speed square is perfectly straight up and down now. So if you look at this little number right over here, 60 degrees, that should be the angle of our rafters. I don't know if this is gonna make sense to anybody except me in my own head here. Hopefully this is actually correct, but so that angle upstairs was 60 degrees. Saw only goes to 45 degrees, but that's okay. 60 degrees is, stay with me here, 15 degrees more than 45. So if we go 15 degrees less than 45, that brings us to 30. So if I set this saw to 30, flip my piece of wood upside down, I'll get a 60-degree cut. That makes sense in my head. Let's see if it actually works or not. So hopefully that should match up to the ceiling? Let's go find out. All right. So my laser is almost dead here, but you can see if I put my piece of wood up here, it's hard to see, but the laser is right on the edge there. It's pretty much perfect. Basically gonna have to make a bunch of these, and they're gonna go just like that. Yep, so if we did this right, our board should fit pretty much perfectly right there, and it looks like it does. So yeah, this is what we're going for, right there. See a nice flat surface all the way from the floor to right up here. Our drywall will sit right on this like that. And we'll just continue all the way down this wall. Thanks, helper. Got one section of wall pretty much done here. The rafters are definitely not perfectly even or even perfectly spaced, which is going to make drywalling interesting. I might have to put some other bracing up in the ceiling here, but there we go. This will continue all the way down to the other side. Just pulling up some of this old flooring here, and look what we got. Super old newspaper. 1953, February 1st. Look at all the values. $100 for a dishwasher, $150 for a whole bedroom set. Look at the prices on some of these chairs. 40 bucks. This is one satisfied customer right here. Look at this guy. Alright. You can see our wall, or where it's supposed to be, thanks to our nice little laser level here. So now what we're going to do is mark the ceiling with our marker, and then we'll be able to finish this wall. Oh, too far. All right, one wall framed. All right, so I need to install the missing collar ties here because that's what our ceiling is going to attach to. There's already several collar ties that were installed down here in this area because there was a ceiling down here before. But I basically have set up my laser here and I'm shooting it across and it's just touching the bottom of this first tie here. And I just want to make sure, like if I bounce on the floor a little bit here, you can see it jiggles a little bit. And when it jiggles that tiny bit, you can see that line show up on the other ones here, which means they're all very close to being level, which I'm pretty happy about because I thought they were going to be way off. But I just thought this looked kind of cool, so I wanted to take a quick video of it. But you can see how it nicely throws the layout of where my the missing collar ties need to be all along the ceiling over here and up this side. And basically I'm just going to go around with a marker and mark those exact little spots there, and I'll know exactly where I need to put my new ties. Should be that easy. All right, there we go. Collar ties all the way down. Got something to attach our drywall to and the insulation. Got a bit more framing done today. I got part of a doorway going here. Just kind of trying to figure out the rough opening to see where I can actually fit a door. With the ceiling being at angles like this, it's iffy to actually fit a door in here. And I still have to somehow put another door over here for the closet. Although it might just end up being like a folding door or maybe some beads hanging. I don't know. There might not be a door for the closet, but I got my other wall over here framed in, so now you can kind of start to see the shape of this room come together. That will be, you know, how big that room will be in there. It's the same as it was before, but it was hard to imagine after taking it all apart what it would look like again. But yep, I just got to build another wall going down this way. I decided I'm going to have a little bit of shelving space over here, so the wall is actually going to end there and then go straight over to there. So there'll be kind of just like an open landing area here where people can put, you know, whatever, laundry, towels, they can stack stuff up there, just an extra storage space. And then I got to build a new railing system of some sort around there so nobody falls down the stairs. But yeah, I got another giant pile of wood. Went and grabbed some more 2x4s today so I can build this all out. And I think tomorrow I'm going to bring home the first load of drywall and start getting some of the, you know, some of the actual drywall put up on the ceiling and walls here. So we'll see if I get there tomorrow though. Well, in a turn of events, this radiator is leaking. It has some rusty spots on it and there's water coming out. So even though it's a tiny bit of water, I won't be able to sleep at night thinking one of these days while somebody else is living here, the house is going to fill with water or boiling hot water because this thing has sprung a leak. So this radiator is going to go. I'm just going to get like some of those like slant fin wall radiators that you see everywhere these days. They're a lot cheaper, a lot easier to maintain, and they don't weigh like 400 pounds like this thing does. But my plan was to just disconnect this from the pipes over there, which I've already done, and then just move it. In hindsight, I built this wall yesterday. I probably should have waited a day because then I could have just scooted this back over there and it could just live there for the rest of history if it wants to. Because I don't plan on removing this from the house because it is just, I'd have to take it all apart in sections and each section weighs like 100 pounds. But I'm just going to scoot it over there against the wall and it can just stay there forever hidden. But I can't move it. It is very, very heavy, and if I do try and just drag it across this floor over here and then scoot it back and then scoot it, like it's just going to destroy this floor, I think. So I'm going to have to take a pry bar, take at least one of these sections apart somewhere in the middle and then move it in at least 2 pieces. But that's what I'm doing today. I didn't plan on doing this today, but I guess after all this time working around this thing, it's now going to go away. I should have just moved it from day one, apparently, but it's getting moved today, so here we go. Gross. This is the black nastiness that comes out of those things. I got my wall pretty much framed out here. You can kind of start to see this room taking shape. It actually feels like a room now. Now I just need to finish framing out the rough ends for the doors here. This is going to be a weird door. It already was a weird door before for the closet, but I don't think it's actually going to be a door. I might try to figure out some sort of folding French door thing here. Otherwise it might just, you know, be like a curtain situation that'll just go into the little room back there. But yeah, we're getting somewhere. I'm gonna actually go and pick up some drywall this afternoon, and I'm gonna start, you know, finishing some of this off. So that's the next thing on the agenda. All right, I got my outline of the closet done here. It's I don't know, it's roughly about 70 by 48, so not quite a 4x8, but it'll be decent enough to put, you know, somebody's stuff in there, depending on what they have. I don't know. There it is. All right, we got our closet framed out here. That's what that'll look like. There's a few more pieces of blocking I need to put in place just to be able to anchor the drywall to something. I need a piece of blocking there for the drywall that's going to sit on that wall. And there was another one. I think it's over here. No, actually, I think that should be good. I'll be able to nail that in from both sides. Oh. Yeah, I think I need the drywall that's going to go here. It'll need something to screw into, so I'll probably have to put a piece of blocking back here. And then I realized up here on the ceiling, I don't have anything to attach the drywall to, so I'm going to have to put something hanging over here. Probably just, there'll be another 2x4 up in here like that. And then that'll give me something to anchor the drywall to. All right, here it is, first load of drywall. Becky was able to help me get it loaded into the trailer here. I'm gonna have to get some help getting it into the house because I'm gonna have to somehow get it in there and up to the attic, which is going to be absolutely impossible by myself, but first load is here at least. Well, this is something kind of cool. Usually you don't see this part of old windows, but if you take the trim pieces off the side of the window, you can see the counterweights in here. I don't think many people realize there's actually literal weights hidden in the wall that when you open the window, the weight goes down, and then, you know, to keep the window open, that weight is what's keeping the window from just falling and crashing back down. When you push it back down, it goes back up, almost like an elevator. But I am going to try to get rid of all of this and just put a new window here. Got my last wall framed out here. You can see the general shape of it. I decided to do something a little different over here. The wall is going to end here, as you can see, and this little spot over here next to the stairs I'm just going to leave that open, actually. It'll still be finished and everything, but as you're coming up the stairs from over here, you'll actually be able to use this as kind of a shelf. You know, people can put stuff on here, clothes, boxes, whatever they want, and then the railing system will kind of just come around here and connect to the wall right there. So this will be kind of an open, usable space, but I don't know. It seems like that might make it easier than building the wall right on the edge here. So I don't know. We'll see how that ends up going. Well, I think the framing's pretty much done. I need one more stud right here. I'm just out of pieces of scrap to make one out of right now, but I'll get one for that. But you can see I've got all my walls done. So this is kind of the finished product here. You can kind of really see what this space will end up looking like. But everything you see here will be all finished with drywall. New flooring up here. I'm going to paint the chimney, probably just like white or something. So this will look a little nicer, and I'll probably put some trim of some sort around the top and the bottom to make it look nice. I think I've decided I'm going to replace at least that window. And if I do that one, I might as well do that one too. It turns out windows are not quite as expensive as I thought they were, as long as you're installing them yourself. So I'm going to figure that out. But here's I guess I'll look at the finished product as far as the framing goes. And then next step will be bringing drywall up here and closing all this in. And that will be that. But I think this is going to be the end of the framing portion of this project. There's not much to do. There's a few pieces of wood that need to go up on these walls to help support the drywall when I get it up over there, but all my walls and rooms and things are built. I think that's going to be the end of this one.